Hey, what's up, guys? This is part 4 to the series, my 4K nightmare slash journey and what you can learn. This is part 4. If you want to see the first 3 parts, they are on the channel. I'm sorry, I don't know how to connect them to this video. We'll have to go back and look for them. That was a Samsung JS9000, 65 inches, Vizio P-Series, 75 inches, Samsung KS9000, 75 inches, Samsung KS9500, 75 inches. All the aforementioned displays were all defective. This series chronicles my journey slash nightmare through 4K and the amount of time, money spent, and energy and time wasted on returning these displays and energy and researching them. The idea behind this is to save you guys time and money and share my experiences with you. For those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Brian. This is why I started the Whisper Status channel, was going through these displays and having no one to tell and having retailers think you're crazy, manufacturers blow you off. And even with the proof that we have, with video and with pictures, everything we can show them, I still was told, hey, that's fine. Now on part 4, like I said, the first 3 parts are on the channel. You don't have to go too far back. They're pretty recent videos. I had gone from the KS9000, 75 inches, the Vizio P-Series, 75 inches. The Vizio P-Series was $4,000. Why I tell you the price is that example 1 of what not to do is try to buy your way out of it. I was so frustrated with the defective models I had received that I went from $4,000 to $6,000. So 50% of the Vizio's price, I went up to the Samsung KS9000. I had thought that that display was going to fix all the issues that I had with the Vizio P-Series. Other than defective, things of that nature, I went through the 9000 series, which was their highest end at the 2016 mark. Then I worked my way up to the 9500 with the 78-inch version. So all those displays were plagued with flashlighting, edge lip bleed, terrible. Even in full screen video, you could see it, and was told by Samsung and Best Buy that that was normal. So we're talking about 1 Samsung, 2 Vizios, 3 KS9000s, and 2 KS9500s. And now here we are at the Samsung KS9800, which is their flagship. And for many of you right now that are talking about or thinking about your dream TV, putting that question to you, what is your dream TV? No matter what you have right now, there's a TV that's on your mind. That's the one, if you had, you'd be all set. This is what mine looked like. Samsung KS9800. That is amazing styling, gorgeous bezel, 78 inches curved, full array, 1400 nits, just perfection is really all I can say. The TV was all I've ever wanted in a TV. At $12,000, it was way overpriced. It was a luxury item. But what had happened is by the time I had gone through all these KS series, the KS9800 had gone down to $10,000 with tax. So it was 9 something, putting it in the same price as, say, the 75-inch Z9D. So here I am haggling, going through all these prices and returning TVs, and on Amazon, there it is, KS9800. In my mind, again, I had gone way past what I wanted to spend. And those of you with your wives, husbands, partners, people in your household, you know what it's like to justify a few more hundred, or then it's a few more thousand. And then it actually becomes 50% or even 100% or double of what your initial price was. But they're so tired of hearing you complain, excuse me, that they're like, fine, just get it. At least that's what happened to me. And I purchased it. I went on vacation. I was so excited when I got home. This is the TV I was going to have. And that's the second example. Here I am letting this take me out of the present moment. I could not wait for this TV. It was going to solve all the problems. It was beautiful. It was big. It was great. So I get it home, and it is amazing. I mean, the best TV I still have ever seen. OLED blacks, the brightest TV I've ever seen. Zero blooming, amazing HDR. And the first issue I had with it, and I'm going to show you this clip from Batman Superman. Watch the black bars. You're going to start seeing them wave. See that ripple? So, defect number one. On high-speed film, occasionally, randomly, I was going to have rippling black bars. So can you imagine spending that kind of money and basically saying, hey, I'm all set. You know, this TV is going to answer all my prayers, and I'm watching Batman vs. Superman, which isn't the best looking movie anyway, and I'm seeing rippling in the bottom black bars. And so I contacted Samsung before I was going to take it back and basically said, you know, what is this? And their response, pretty normal. Just what happens with full array local dimming, which all of us watching this video know to be not true. But I was actually willing to deal with it. It didn't happen on every movie, but that was the first chink in the armor. The next was what is known as a blue line defect with the Samsung models. It happens on some of their lower tier models, but all of a sudden it was happening on the KS9800. And here's a video of that. Now these videos can be seen on the channel. They're the very first videos I've ever done. But look for the blue line to the left of the screen. I was also told by Samsung that that was normal. I actually had them come out because I had proof of it. The tech came out and basically said, sorry man, this TV is so expensive that I can't just replace the panel. And they couldn't just replace the motherboard. So what they were basically telling me was to be patient and wait. And what that waiting would have done, guys, was take me out of my return window, which would have been the worst possible thing in the world to do. So I sent it back. And unfortunately, that was the best one that I received. I ordered 2 more. The next ones had actual flash lighting, which shouldn't happen on a full array display, guys, but it does happen. And then I had the next one, instead of happening once in a while with the blue line, it was constant. Even though I didn't pay full retail, the TV was still $6. You can actually hear me. Oh, there it goes. And it's just inexcusable. So I will post some good videos and a review of this. And these are, like I said, are on the beginning of my channel. You can find them. You'll see it shoot up more and more. Used for $3 grand, it would not be worth it. There's plenty of other options out there. It should flicker more. Like I said, I'll be looking at the there it goes. So unfortunately, here I am at a Flagship. The problem, and you're going to hear me say Flagship a lot, the problem with operating with a Flagship, guys, is that they're not going to take them back easily. So if you buy a $10,000 Z9D or a $15,000 78-inch OLED from Best Buy, they're not going to just take it back. They can't afford to take them back. They can't sell that as an open box. So, you know, second or third example, when you go Flagship, there are very few reviews on those displays. There's also less sympathy on the retailers. You come in spending that kind of money, they're like, yeah, what an idiot. You can afford that kind of, what are you bothering me for with vertical banding? Also, guys, at 78 or 75 inches and up, especially 78 inches, a lot of us are saying, God, if I could only have that Samsung at 100 inches, it wouldn't it be amazing? I'm telling you, it would be a nightmare because the screen uniformity gets worse and worse the larger the display is. A curved Samsung KS9800 was a nightmare. After the first one, the vertical banding that I had going down the screen, you'll see that on the first video. I can't show it on this. You wouldn't even see it. But go on the first video of my channel, you'll see the banding. Every time I pan through the sky. And that motion blur that was on the black bars also in certain games created this crazy blur and smearing. Now, like I said, if you have the KS9800 and you're watching this video and you have a good one, then you are all set. And I'm not picking on a specific manufacturer. All these manufacturers have these issues. What I'm simply sharing with you guys is do not buy your way to the top. Do not think just because I spent a little bit more money and I went with the step-up model, it's going to be all set. Don't think because you buy the highest end OLED, it's going to be night and day better than your mid-tier. In some cases it may be, but I'm trying to say to you guys, before you justify going up and up and up, just try to realize, is that really worth it? Is this the last display that you're going to buy? If you're going to spend, stupidly on my part, almost $10,000, or actually $10,000, you know, buy a freaking car for that. $10,000 on a TV, it better be your last TV. And those of us that love tech and love technology know full well that that $10,000 TV isn't really going to hold up. The Sony Z9D, that's a 2016 model. Yes, it still holds up, but is it worth $10,000 at 75 inches? Now back to what I said also about TVs being reviewed. ArtSings did not review the KS9800. There's only about 3 reviews or 4 reviews I could find, and they were all of the 65-inch variant, none of the 78-inch. The Z9D, perfect example, has very poor pixel response at 65 inches. Too bad I can't find a review of a 75-inch to really be able to tell if the 75-inch is going to have the same blur that the 65-inch has. So again, the higher we go, the less reviews we're going to find. It's not really like graphics cards where people get sent them samples of a Titan XP and let you work on it. A TV at $12,000 is not something Samsung just sends to people. Vincent on the HDV test didn't do a Samsung KS98 review. So my point is there's very few places to go for help. ArtSings couldn't help me with that one. They had no idea. They don't have TVs that expensive. So even though I had the snobbish Flagship moniker, I was pretty alone with it. I couldn't get any help with it. They wouldn't replace the damn thing. So being Flagship really didn't help me with anything except for make me a hell of a lot, put a big dent in my wallet, and gave me no answers. It also got me to the point where I didn't want to go down. Sorry about the hiss sense. I have wallpaper in the back. I didn't want to go down in quality. So when somebody said, hey, go down to the Sony 940E or whatever it was at the time, I was like, hell no, I have the Flagship. How can it be better? And that was something that happens when you spend that kind of money. You have the sticker shock, you have the buyer's remorse, and then there's that denial of, well, it's the best one. I got the top of the line. And I'm telling you, nobody cares. If you're sitting there in the basement with a top of the line piece of garbage that doesn't work, it's a terrible feeling. And no one feels bad for you if you spend that kind of money on a display or a car and the thing breaks down. So in short, sorry the video is so long and it's all over the place. Do not spend your way to the top. For those of you that have that magical display in your mind, and if you could spend all the money in the world to get it, unless you were super, super wealthy, and it doesn't matter to you if it's a piece of garbage. I mean, I'm telling you that these luxury brands, as there's a luxury Mercedes on the screen, they're really meant to be thrown on the wall and not watched. Samsung's response to the KS9800 was, hey, look, it's not really meant for games. It's a luxury item. And maybe they're right. I don't know. But for me, I was heartbroken. And I'll do a video on the next display, which was the Sony 940E. But as far as the KS9800, guys, that's my story. I can only compare it to what's happening with the Z9D in the market right now. Some of you are very tempted to buy the Z9D now that it's down to $7,000. Just a little buyer beware that there is very few of them in their inventory. So if you buy a $7,000 or $8,000 Z9D, they are not going to be very friendly if you return it. And there's going to be less people for you to talk to on YouTube about their experiences. All the people I spoke to on YouTube about the KS9800 had 65-inch versions. So they really couldn't help me. And a lot of them had issues as well. So again, I'm not picking on Samsung. Sony has defective models. LG has defective. The panel lottery is very, very real. What I want to impress upon you guys is do not try to spend your way to the top. Do not always buy the highest of high, thinking it's going to solve anything. And if anything, it creates more of a deficit, both financial and emotional. So I'm Whisper Status, guys. My name is Brian. Again, sorry for the long video. Just trying to let you know what pitfalls to avoid when you're purchasing your next displays for 2018. And I will talk to you guys soon, and I thank you so very much.